Croissant Pub to the PlayStation Indies PSN sale. Unlike the last sale, this sale is for everyone, so you don't have to have a PS Plus account to find some cool games, and save a ton of money as well. So subscribe if you like the idea of that, and then you'll save a lot of money and find some cool games in every sale. You're welcome here anytime. Okay, this sale ends on the 22nd of June, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. Let's look at the games. First up is A Knight's Quest. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and is on a 90% discount for the price of £1.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really good deal. In this action adventure, which is basically a Zelda ripoff, which no one could complain about I don't think, you get to play as Rusty, who accidentally starts at the end of the world, and now sets out to solve puzzles, fight enemies, defeat huge bosses, and platform his way to saving the world, while unlocking spirit abilities to master fire, ice, and time along the way. This game has mixed reviews, but it looks really good to me. Like I said, it's a Zelda ripoff in all aspects, which is great because there's not many games like that outside of a Nintendo console. It may not be as good as a Zelda game, but at this price, if you like those sorts of games, why not take a look at it? You might have a lot of fun, you never know. It looks pretty good to me. And if you've never played a game like this before, then again at this price, you might want to take a chance on it. Like I said, it's got mixed reviews, but you can't expect too much for this price, and it's got big shoes to fill. So if you're not expecting too much, you might have a lot of fun with this game. Why not take a look? We have a VR game next, Along Together. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 60% discount for the price of £4.79, which is really good, especially for a VR game. This is a VR puzzle platformer with no move controller support, so you don't need them to play the game. In VR, you play a young girl's imaginary friend, helping her explore different worlds in search of her missing dog Rishu. You interact with her environment, moving, grabbing, shooting and more to help her along her journey. This looks like a pretty decent family-friendly VR platformer, so if you've got a kid or you just like platformers, then you'll get a lot of fun out of this game. It may not be the most exciting premise for a game, but hey, it looks pretty well made and a decent amount of fun at this price. And in VR, everything's better. These sorts of games are fun no matter how simple they are usually. So why not take a look at it if you like the sound of that? Beholder 2 is our next game. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £2.39, which is really good. In this strategy game, which is set in a world governed by the authoritarian Prime Ministry, you join the ministry as an intern, but will you become a loyal member, try to climb the ladder to lead the ministry itself, or even subvert it for your own freedom? The choice is yours. This is a really cool game from a pretty decent series, and I really like the idea of it. Rising up the ranks or subverting it to take over a ministry and control an evil government from the inside out is a really cool concept, and it's definitely unique in games. So if you like the sound of this story, and you think you'll have fun playing it, definitely check it out. It's different, but really cool looking. And hey, if you've never played a game like this, then you might want to check it out. It's at a really good price, and it's got some very interesting concepts. So if you really like the sound of it, definitely check it out. But if not, don't worry, there's plenty of other games to look at instead. Next up is Boiling Bolt. It was released in 2017, so it's 5 years old, and is on at least a 75% discount for the price of £2.37 or £1.89 with PS Plus, which is a really good deal either way. In this shooter, you live in the shattered remains of a planet, where June is a soldier struggling to defend the last floating islands from an evil organization draining their energy. It features local co-op, 5 levels, 30 challenges, multiple game modes, and online leaderboards as well, so there's a lot of replayability, especially if you like online leaderboards and going for high scores. So if you're a fan of old school scrolling shooters like R-Type, you might want to check this out, especially if you like going for high scores and leaderboards. You probably get a lot out of your money with this game. And hey, if you've never played a game like this before, if you've always wanted to, why not check this one out? It looks decent, and it's at a really good price. Well worth taking a look at if you're interested. We have more VR next. Cali and the Reaperman Escape from the Underworld. It was released in 2021, so it's only a year old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £3.87, which is really cheap, especially for a VR game. This VR puzzle platformer has move controller compatibility, so if you've got them you can use them, but you can play them without. Although, obviously it's better with them than without. In this game you control Cali and the Reaper Man as they visit the spirits of the underworld. It features 2-player local co-op with one person controlling Cali on the TV, while you control Reaper Man in VR. So that's really cool. If you've got a VR headset and you want to play with a friend or a kid, this is great for them. And it's nice to see some multiplayer in VR. More games should support it. Although I'm not too bothered because VR is awesome, and let's not compromise it for anything. So if you like puzzle platformers and you've got a VR headset, why not check this out? It's at a dirt cheap price and it looks pretty good. And if you've never played a puzzle platformer in VR before, then check them out. They're really good and fun, and they're much different than playing them without VR. It's a completely different experience, well worth taking a look at. And at this price, this is a great game. Definitely consider it if you can. And if you don't have a PSVR headset, then I hope you're saving it for the next one because, woof, you're missing out on a lot of cool stuff. Up next is Kryptak. It was released in 2017, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £3.89, which is really good. In this roguelike shooter, you board derelict ships to fight your way through the automated defences, reach and destroy the central system core, rendering the ship defenceless and ready to be plundered by your enterprise. It features over 70 weapons and local multiplayer as well, so if you like old school arcade sort of shooters, you'll probably really enjoy this, especially if you're a fan of roguelikes. The combination of the two will probably really appeal to you, so if you like the sound of that, definitely take a look at it. And hey, if you've never played a roguelike shooter before, this is a really decent price, so you can have a look at this one, and if you like the look of it, why not take a chance? You might find your new favourite genre. But if not, don't worry, there's plenty more games to check out instead. We have a racer next, Dakar 18. It was released in 2018, obviously, and is 4 years old, while being on a discount of at least 85%, for a price of £2.99 or 99 pence with PS Plus, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a ridiculously cheap deal if you've got PS Plus anyway. In this game you get to play a simulation of the world famous annual rally raid in South America. It features motorcycles, cars, trucks, quads and more, with dynamic weather effects, vehicle physics and pilot control to explore, rescue and repair all of your vehicles, which is pretty cool and immersive. And it also includes 2-player local multiplayer and 8-player online multiplayer, although who knows how active that is these days. So this may not be the biggest of racing games, and it may be based on a really niche market, but hey, if you like that niche market, at this price you can't go wrong. You should definitely consider it. But if you're not interested in the Dakar, then, well, you're not going to have much interest in this unless you just really like racing games, in which case, at this price, why not take a look? But if you're not a fan of racing games or you've never heard of this race before, then definitely steer clear and check something else out instead. Next up is Deep Sky Derelicts Definitive Edition. It was released in 2020, so it's 2 years old, and is on at least a 75% discount for the price of £4.99 or £3.99 with PS Plus, which is a good deal for both, especially as this edition includes both the DLC, with new features, content, areas, gameplay mechanics and more, so you're getting a lot of extra content for your money, which is great. In this roguelike deck builder, you are a poor stateless outcast in a dystopian future where you seek a fabled derelict alien ship in deep space, and finding it will grant you citizenship and a better life. It also features comic book graphics and procedurally generated content, so it should be different and mix it up every time you play it. Roguelikes are pretty common these days, but deck builders definitely aren't, so if you're a fan of both, this game will be right up your alley and you'll probably have a lot of fun with it. So if that's the case, why not check it out, even if you're a roguelike fan looking for something a bit different. It'll be well worth a look. And hey, if you've never played a roguelike before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend starting with this one. It's a very different and unique one, so unless you're a fan of deck builders, I'm not sure if you'd like it or not. But hey, by now you should know whether you like the idea of it or not, so if you do, why not take a look at it? You might just love it. Even more VR next, Dick Wild 2. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and is on a 75% discount for the price of £3.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal, especially for a VR game. In this on-rails VR shooter, where move controllers are required, so if you don't have them you can't play it, and it even supports the aim controller, so if you have one of them, you'll have a great time. The local lakes and ravines have been affected by a toxic outbreak, so it's up to you alone or with a friend to shoot up everything to save the day. It features a variety of weapons, 2-player online co-op, and giant enemy bosses to defeat. There aren't that many old school on-rail shooters in VR, and this looks like a really good one. So if you've got fond memories of games like Time Crisis, you'll probably really enjoy this. And hey, if you've never played an on-rail VR shooter before, then they're fun for everyone. So if you just like shooting stuff and you want a bit of good fun, you'll really enjoy this, and it'll be really good for newbies as well. People who haven't played much VR will be able to play this without much instruction, so they'll have fun too. In any case, if you like the sound of it, check it out. There's a lot of fun to be had here, especially for this price. Next up is Dog Duty. It was released in 2020, so it's 2 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the price of £1.59, which is dirt cheap. In this real-time strategy game, you play as a 3-person band of misfits, fighting against the evil octopus commander and his army, liberating islands one at a time, and fighting crazy Octomachine bosses. It features 3-member squads, vehicles, and epic boss battles. So if you're a fan of old school top-down shooters, but you want a bit more tactics to your game, then you'll probably really enjoy this one. So you should take a look at it if you like the sound of that. And hey, if you've never played a game like this before, then you might want to check this out. It's at a really good price, and it's not bad. If you're in any way interested, why not think about it? You might really enjoy yourself. We have an action game next, Door Kickers Action Squad. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £3.89, which is really good. In this game you play as a SWAT trooper in Nowhere City, where you get to choose your gear and then kick in the door and deal with the bad guys by any means necessary. It features 6 playable characters, 84 levels, an endless tower mode, a zombie invasion mode, and 2-player local and online co-op as well. So there's a ton of game modes and even multiplayer as well, which is great. They really went the extra mile for this game. This looks like a really cool old school action game, so if you like 2D action games with a lot of shooting in them and a bit of comedy, you'll probably love this game. Definitely worth a look if you like the sound of it. And hey, if you've never played a game like this before, this is at a really good price and it looks like a ton of fun. So if you like action games and you're tempted by what you've heard, why not check it out? You might find your new favourite game. Next up is my star by Figment. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and is on a 90% discount for the price of £1.59, which is dirt cheap. In this action adventure, you're welcomed to a strange and surreal mind, filled with our deepest thoughts and memories. But new thoughts have appeared recently, as nightmarish creatures spreading fear and dread. Dusty, the former voice of courage, must now fight to save his world, by stepping up to the plate, and doing what's needed to save everything. This game has a really cool art style, and it looks really good quality. For an indie game, it's impressive. I'd easily believe it was a AAA game if you told me it was. And the gameplay looks really cool. It's an old school adventure game, with some action thrown in, and some puzzling as well. So if you really like old school adventure games, you'll really enjoy this game. It looks really good to me, and that's why I picked it as my star buy. I just got a gut feeling this is a good one. And hey, if you've never played a game like this before, it's a dirt cheap price for a game that looks really awesome to me. It's my star buy. I definitely think it's worth it, and who knows, you might love it and find a new genre that you really enjoy. Take a look. Up next is Indie Bundle's Shyness and Seasons After Fall. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £2.39, which is dirt cheap for 2 full games. In Seasons After Fall, which is a puzzle platformer, you must guide a wild fox on a journey through a beautiful land to meet the 4 guardians, while using your ability to switch between the 4 seasons to solve puzzles. And in the second game, Shyness, which is an RPG, you must journey across a universe on the verge of collapse, crashing onto a planet and stranded in the middle of a conflict spanning multiple kingdoms. This is a great value bundle. I can't believe you're getting 2 games for this price, especially when one of them is a proper RPG. and the other's a really cool puzzle platformer. If you like one or both of these games, definitely take a look at it. And hey, if you've never played either of these genres before, then definitely pick it up. You're getting two good games at a great price, and you might find your new favourite genre. Definitely check it out. We have an adventure puzzle next. Last Day of June. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £3.99, which is really good. In this game, after the love of your life tragically dies in the same accident that leaves you bound in a wheelchair, you find that you are able to travel into the past through her paintings. So can you change the fate of your lost love? Only time will tell in this cute little game. The graphics for this game look really awesome because when you travel through time, the whole world looks like a painting, which is beautiful and a really nice touch. Plus, the story looks really interesting. You don't get to see that many time travel stories these days, so it's nice to see a bit of a change from the stuck in your memory story that you see in almost every puzzle game these days. In any case, it looks like a great game. I really like the look of it, so if you're a fan of puzzle games, why not take a look at it? And if you've never played a puzzle game before, then at this price, you should probably check it out, because it looks like a great game with a decent discount. We have some more action next. Mr. Shifty. It was released in 2017, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £2.99, which is really cheap. In this game, you are Mr. Shifty. You die in one hit, but you have the skill to teleport through walls, lasers, bullets, people, anything. So you must fight your way through the world's most secure facility, obliterating enemies along the way. Can you do it? With your skills, you never know. This game looks awesome. I've seen gameplay footage of it before, and it's amazing to watch. It looks like a ton of fun. It's basically like Hotline Miami, but with some superpowers thrown in as well. Kinda like Nightcrawler in X-Men 2, if you've ever seen that at the beginning when he's teleporting everywhere and beating people up. It's basically that the game. So if you're excited about that as I am, you should definitely check it out. It's an awesome game and very different and unique. If you're a fan of action games, definitely take a look. And hey, if you've never played an action game like this before, then you should definitely take a look at this one. It's very different, but it's very cool, and it's at a really good price as well. So there's no reason to take a look. You might really like it, you never know. Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment is our next game. It was released in 2020, so it's 2 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £6.59, which is really good, especially as it's not that old. In this adventure game, you become the legendary detective and investigate 6 thrillingly varied cases, including murder, theft, and missing persons. You get to use your talents to find the culprits and decide their fate with dynamic results based on your investigation and actions, which sounds like a dream come true to investigation fans, and especially Sherlock Holmes fans. If you've always wanted to investigate murders, why not take a look at this game? They're a really good series, and this one's at a really good price. You'll have a lot of fun if you like detective-based stuff. And hey, if you've never played a game like this before, then this might be a really good place to start. It's a really good game that's quite new, at a really good price. You can't go far wrong with it. If you're in any way interested, why not check it out? We have a unique Metroidvania next, Songbird Symphony. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £2.59, which is really good. In this musical rhythm Metroidvania, you play an orphan chick called Bird, who sets off to find their true origins, while using music to interact with the forest, finding new notes to explore more of the forest with, and fight the bosses hidden within. It features rhythm battles and tons of secrets to find in this huge map as well. So if you're a fan of Metroidvania games, this is a very different game, with some rhythm gameplay thrown in, and a music theme. So if you really like both genres, you'll have a lot of fun with this. And hey, if you've never played a Metroidvania before, I wouldn't recommend starting with this one. It looks like a really good one, but it's very different and unique compared to most Metroidvanias, so you might be better off starting elsewhere instead. So subscribe, and you won't miss them when they come on sale. We have a turn-based strategy game next, Spaceland. It was released in 2020, so it's 2 years old, and it's on at least a 75% discount for the price of £3.99 or £2.39 with PS Plus, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal. In this game, you control a squad of space rangers who land on a mystical planet to uncover its mysteries, With an arsenal of futuristic upgradable weapons to take on dangerous enemies and bosses, it features a variety of customizable and upgradable weapons that will keep the gameplay varied and fun. You don't see a huge amount of turn-based strategy games these days, and this looks like a really decent one, especially for this price. So if you're a fan of that genre, you might want to take a look at it. And if you've never played a turn-based strategy game before, then this might be a good one to start. It's really decent looking, and it's at a really good price. You're not really risking a lot to pick it up, so why not take a look? You might even enjoy yourself. And the final game I have for you is The Great Perhaps. It was released in 2020, so it's 2 years old, and it's on at least a 65% discount for the price of £2.79 or £1.99 with PS Plus, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, especially for such a good game. In this game, an astronaut returns to Earth, finding it devastated by a global cataclysm. Amongst the ruins, you find a lantern that offers glimpses of the past, allowing you to travel through time on your journey to find the cause of Earth's fate and try and undo it. This game got rave reviews when it came out. People say it's one of the best puzzle games made recently, and it looks awesome too. If you're a fan of puzzle games, especially ones with a cool story, I think you'll really enjoy this game, especially at the discounted price. Definitely take a look at it if you like the sound of that. And hey, if you've never played a puzzle game before, then this is a fantastic place to start. I would definitely recommend it, especially at this price. Why not check it out? You'll probably be doing yourself a favour. And that's all the games I have for you for the PlayStation Indies PSN sale. What did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good ones or did I pick bad ones? And what about the star buy? Did it deserve it? Or should some other game have got it instead? Anyway, I hope you guys found some games you're interested in. But more importantly, I hope you saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Au revoir.